Multiculturalism is the presence of several distinct cultural or ethnic groups within a society. We often hear about how Britain is a multicultural society, with many politicians claiming this to be a positive for the country. However, earlier this week, the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, declared that multiculturalism in the UK has failed. Let's have a quick look at what she said.
Multiculturalism makes no demands of the incomer to integrate. It has failed because it allowed people to come to our society and live parallel lives in it. They could be in the society, but not of the society. And in extreme cases, they could pursue lives aimed at undermining the stability and threatening the security of our society.
Other senior Conservatives have been critical of her comments, and Prime Minister Sunak has reportedly refused to endorse her comments. Clearly there are some rifts in the hierarchy of the party about the contents of her speech. Some left-wing politicians and media publications have called for her to be sacked, but this has not happened. It would be interesting to see if a senior white Conservative minister had made such comments, if they would have lasted 5 minutes. However, with Braverman being of an Asian background, accusations of being far-right, a fascist or even a Nazi have little impact, especially when you consider she is married to a Jew. So Braverman has said that different communities live parallel lives in the country, and in the case of others, and I quote, "In extreme cases, they could pursue lives aimed at undermining the stability and threatening the security of our society." This is most likely referring to those who commit acts of terror based on a violent Islamic ideology. It's difficult to argue with that. So clearly she has identified what she perceives to be a problem. But just like other Tories who will talk tough on such issues related to immigration, she has offered no solution about how she intends to solve this. If one considers multiculturalism to be a failure, with newcomers not doing enough to integrate into society, then a fairly simple starting point would be to decrease immigration into the UK. So let's take a look at the figures. The Office for National Statistics, or ONS, reported in May 2023 that at the end of June 22, net migration to the UK was over 600,000. Net migration represents the difference between the number of people entering the UK less the number of people emigrating from the UK. These figures are 1.2 million and 557,000 respectively. So in just 1 year, 1.2 million people migrated into the UK. In addition to this huge legal migration to the UK, these figures do not even take into account illegal immigration, which obviously no clear records or data are available on. Although we do have some data relating to the Channel crossings, with over 45,000 people coming in 2022 alone. Furthermore, this only accounts for illegal immigration via the Channel crossings. How many more people are entering the country in lorries or by other means that the authorities are unaware of? So clearly Braverman and the Tories are doing nothing to stop immigration. On the contrary, immigration to the UK is at its highest ever, far above the huge levels under Tony Blair in the early 2000s. They're also doing nothing about removing illegal immigrants, immigrants with criminal convictions, and those who have overstayed their visa applications. Who remembers all the talk about such people being sent to Rwanda? Yet not one person has actually been sent to the country so far. The first flight to Rwanda was scheduled way back in June 2022. There's all this tough talk and rhetoric about removing illegal immigrants, yet instead these people are allowed to stay in British hotels, provided with accommodation, 3 meals a day, heating, electricity, which people like me and you pay for with our taxes. The speech is just one big publicity stunt. The latest a UK general election can be held is in January 2025, but most likely the election will be held sometime in 2024. The Conservative Party has been disastrous in so many areas for the past 13 years. They absolutely deserve to be punished at the polls. Of course, only the Tories or Labour can win a general election. Now, to be clear, I'm someone who has never voted Labour, and at this moment in time never sees myself voting Labour ever. I think the Labour Party is a joke. The Conservative Party is the party I should feel far more comfortable about voting for. Nevertheless, all the years of poor performance, whether it concern our poor removal from the EU, the crippling NHS, unwillingness to deal with immigration, poor economic performance, or whatever else, the Conservative Party deserves to be punished by those who have voted for them in the past. Braverman and her party are going to do nothing about immigration. Despite in her eyes the multicultural society in the UK being a failure, she has offered no solution to this problem. With a general election likely to be held next year, I would ask that all those with similar views to mine, who have voted Tory in the past and would not consider voting Labour, to not vote Conservative this time round. The Tories need to be shown the displeasure UK voters feel with them right now, and a narrow defeat would not demonstrate this. They need to be humiliated at the next general election. But that's just my thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Many thanks for listening. Bye.